Imagine you're alone. The air around you is still. The only sound is the soft, rhythmic ticking of a clock. It's steady, constant, marking the passage of time in a world that feels suspended in silence. The darkness in your room thickens, wrapping around you like a blanket. But not a blanket of warmth. No, it feels cold, like the quiet before a storm. And in that stillness, something shifts. You can't see it, but you can feel it. The unmistakable sensation of being watched. Welcome to Dark Bedtime Tales, where we venture into the unknown, the eerie, and the unexplainable. In these late hours, I invite you to let go of the day, close your eyes, and let the stories I tell guide you. Let them carry you through the spaces between dreams and reality, where shadows stretch long and dark figures stand just out of reach. Tonight, we explore a figure who has haunted the dreams and nightmares of people across the globe. He appears in the corner of your room, or perhaps at the foot of your bed. His silhouette is tall, his face shrouded in darkness, but one detail stands out: a wide-brimmed hat. He's not a visitor you invite, but he comes anyway. This is the Hatman. They say he comes silently, slipping into the room when the night is at its darkest. Some call him a shadow, others a demon, but most know him simply as the Hatman. His visits are unwelcome, his presence terrifying, and those who encounter him are left with a lingering fear that they are never truly alone again. People across the world have reported seeing him. The stories, eerily similar, describe a tall, dark figure that stands motionless, watching, sometimes at the edge of your vision, sometimes close enough that you can feel the weight of his gaze. He doesn't speak, he doesn't move, but the terror he leaves behind is real. The Hatman is no ordinary shadow. He is a figure that has sparked endless theories. Some say he's a spirit trapped between worlds. Others think he's a demon, drawn to the places where fear is strongest. There are even those who believe he is something more, something that moves between dimensions. But no matter what he is, one thing is certain: the Hatman stays with you, even after he's gone. Let's begin our journey tonight with the story of a man working in the quiet fields of a small rural town. This town, nestled among peanut farms, is the kind of place where the nights are dark and still, where the wind whispers through the fields like a lullaby. But for one man, those nights held something much darker. Working the night shift at a peanut processing plant, he would occasionally tell his family of strange sightings, not of wild animals or late-night drifters, but of a man dressed entirely in black, with a wide-brimmed hat that cast deep shadows over his face. The workers called him the Man in Black, and over time, his presence became something more than just a ghost story. One particular night, after an argument with his wife, the man's father took the children to the plant for a late-night visit. The air was thick with tension, the night unusually quiet. But as they arrived, the children saw something that would haunt them forever. Standing just beyond the dim glow of the plant's security lights was the unmistakable figure of the Man in Black. The father froze, his voice shaking as he warned his children to stay back. The figure stood still, as though waiting for something. And then, the father did something that sent chills through the children. He spoke to the man. The words were too soft to hear, but the children saw the figure beckon, as if inviting them into the darkness. Terror gripped the family. The father's usual strength faltered as he stared into the shadowed face of the figure. The air around them seemed to grow heavier. The children clung to each other, too scared to breathe. And then, as quickly as he appeared, the Man in Black vanished into the night. For the children, the memory of that night never faded. Even years later, they would recall the chilling stillness of the figure, the way he seemed to want something more than just to watch. Who or what was he? But the Hatman doesn't just watch from afar. Some who encounter him say they feel his presence long after he's gone. And some believe he is more than a shadow. Many people have encountered the Hatman while performing a Ouija board session or dabbling in dark rituals. His presence is often linked to moments when the veil between our world and something far more sinister is at its thinnest. It is said that the Hatman is drawn to those who attempt to call upon forces they do not fully understand, appearing in the stillness that follows, as if summoned by the very rituals they perform. For centuries, people have warned of the dangers of contacting the spirit world through these rituals. The Hatman is no stranger to these tales. He appears in the shadows, silent and looming, watching with unsettling intent. Many believe he is a demon, a dark entity summoned by these reckless practices, drawn to the fear and confusion that follow. His visits may be a warning, a sign that something much darker has been invited into our world. A woman named Lilla knows this all too well. As a child, Lilla lived in a quiet rural home surrounded by fields. It was the perfect place to grow up, or so she thought. But after the sudden, tragic death of her father, things began to change. The once peaceful home seemed darker, colder, and then came the whispers. Lilla would hear voices outside her window at night, soft, murmuring voices that seemed to come from nowhere. She felt watched, followed even, by something she could not see. But the most terrifying encounter came one night when Lilla woke to find the Hatman standing at the foot of her bed. He was tall, much taller than any man she had ever seen. His wide-brimmed hat cast shadows that stretched across the room, and Lilla found herself paralyzed, unable to move. All she could do was watch as he stood there, silent, his faceless form looming over her. Lilla never forgot that night. Even after her family moved away from the house, the memory of the Hatman stayed with her. She would dream of him, always standing in the shadows, always watching. But Lilla's story is not unique. So many others have seen him, felt his presence, and been left with the same overwhelming dread. The Hatman is not just a ghost or a shadow. There are many who believe that he is something darker. Some say he is a demon, drawn to moments of great fear or loss. He appears during times of crisis or after someone has dabbled in the occult. His visits are often followed by tragedy, leaving behind a trail of grief and fear. Others suggest the Hatman is an interdimensional being, that he moves between worlds, slipping into ours only briefly, before vanishing again. His appearances may be moments where our world and another collide, giving us a glimpse of something we were never meant to see. Whatever he is, one thing is certain: those who see the Hatman are never the same. They describe a deep, primal fear, a sense that they have been marked, watched, and that he will come again. As you lie here tonight, listening to the quiet of your own room, imagine the figure standing there, in the corner just beyond the reach of the light. He doesn't move, he doesn't speak, but you feel him, watching, waiting. Could it be that the Hatman is always there, lurking in the corners of our minds, waiting for the moment when we are most vulnerable? Or does he only come when we call him, knowingly or not, through the rituals and practices that open the door to the unknown? Some believe that simply talking about the Hatman can invite him in, that by acknowledging his existence, we give him power. Could that be why his appearances seem to be increasing in recent years? As stories of the Hatman spread, more and more people claim to have seen him, felt him, or been haunted by his presence. But whether the Hatman is a demon, a spirit, or something else entirely, one thing remains: he is a figure that leaves a lasting mark on those who encounter him. His image lingers, his presence felt long after he's gone, and for some, the fear never truly fades. As we end our tale tonight, I leave you with this thought: sometimes the things we fear most are not the monsters we see, but the ones we feel watching us from the shadows. Thank you for joining me tonight on Dark Bedtime Tales. Please like the video and subscribe. I hope these stories carried you gently into the night. Sleep well, and remember, the darkness is never truly empty. Good night.